Hi guys, it's Ryan. And today, the topic of conversation is they were right. You actually do have to be a bitch. So me personally, that was confirmation, that loud ass, long ass hunk. But me personally, I've always found myself as someone who puts people's expectations. I say it's because I'm a projector in human design, and also I have Virgo in my big three. But I always have found myself as someone who puts people's perceptions as well as opinions, as well as advice. Well, opinions and advice. No. Opinions and advice are really different. I've always found myself the kind of person that put those things first. I always found myself as the kind of person that took what people say seriously. And it's not so much because I felt like I needed it. Let's be real. Not only am I, Virgo placement, but I'm also like Aquarius and a Leo placement in my big three. So I'm the kind of person that puts advice that people give to me. Not so much advice, I'll take that back, but I'm the kind of person that puts opinions and criticism, people's perceptions over my own, especially my past. And like I said, I realized from a young age that most of the time, especially the adults, the things that they were telling me, they were untrue. A lot of times I would be told certain things, or a lot of times I would be like taught to do certain things. And what was funny about me that I used to love, it was like an inside thing with just me, but I would do what someone would tell me to do, and I would like wait. I guess that's so Matilda coded. I would wait until they weren't around to do the exact opposite. And the crazy thing was the exact opposite was so much better. But from a young age, I learned don't check an adult. Don't check people. Don't check people when they're telling you what to do. Listen to them. And when you're alone and you have no one around that can see you not listening, that's when you live, and that's when you do what you know you should be doing, or is best. And that just taught me that what I saw, crazy enough, my vision since I was a kid, I've been so wise, so intelligent, so abused for that. That just taught me, don't show that to the world, hide it. And now in my adult years, I realize that I have so many fears when it comes to people's perceptions of me, because I feel like I'm going to be terribly abused. And I come here today to tell you that 9 times out of 10, that is a reason why. Like, being afraid of people's perception of you is a big ass tell all that you have experienced hardcore abuse in your life. And as I continuously reshaped and remolded myself to fit to survive, because I was afraid of someone abusing me. And like the abuse that I experienced when I was growing up, it was psychological warfare. It wasn't just physical. I would go to certain family members' houses and I'd be beat on, yes, but it wasn't just a physical abuse. It was a mental and a verbal abuse. I was continuously what's the word? What's that word that's so sad? Neglected. I was continuously neglected. And then right here in the Bible, I was taught that me being like me making mistakes was why I was experiencing neglect. I was taught that I was experiencing neglect on purpose because I was making mistakes, because I was being so bad. And I would be told, it was worse than, you're in trouble, go sit in timeout. It was like I was around people who, a lot of the people I was around were like very gangster. So what was sad was like these gangster people were actually really smart. So they knew how to verbally tell me off. So I'm like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, till 15. I started taking up for myself at 15 because I hated just sitting there and letting someone speak to me so out of terms. But those years, for like all my childhood until I was 15, I would sit there and let, these grown adults talk down to me, a child, and they would say things that were so intelligent and hurtful, all around the topic of abuse. They'd be like, you know, you deserve this to happen to you, and you should have had that happen to you, and this, because you did this would have been. And I see why people, and I see why everybody hates you, and I see it. And it was psychological warfare. And in my adult years, I found myself afraid of being assertive and being honest about what I desire because of that mental prison that I grew up withheld in. And I was like, I had a lot of family members, so I would go to different family members' houses and it would be a different mental prison at everybody's house. And I could never just shine. And in my, like, I'm going to keep saying in my adult years because I'm relating to different eras. In my adult years, I realized, like, you really have to be unliked. I was so scared of being unliked because of that verbal and mental abuse that I experienced. But you really genuinely do have to be unliked to live a good life. When I was 15 and I started standing up for myself, it wasn't a lot that I would say. I would just, I would say back the things that I was told about myself. I would say it in terms of saying it to them. And I noticed people were shocked. Like people, I would do it to adults, and it was a new sense of protection and also freedom, because when I would do it to them, they would get so shocked. They would be like, I knew it was all on the disguise as like, you're taking up for yourself. Like some things I would say would be so crazy, but it's like when someone knows that they're doing something horrible to you and no one can help you and they see you stand up for yourself, it's a shocking thing because they think that they're pushing you down mentally so good. Why would you, why would you even feel strong enough to rise up? And I kind of lost that fire later in my teenage years because of experiences with people. People, just because you stand up for yourself doesn't mean they're going to back down. And a lot of times people will keep kicking your legs because they know at some point you're going to fall. And I found that I've been talking about this for the last week. Love is the greatest way to win a battle. You want to kill the king, make him fall in love with you. Like Achilles' foot, or is it heel? When the girl he fell in love with, he told her no, it was his hair. I don't know if it's Achilles, but he told her that his strength was in his hair, and God told him to never tell anybody that. And she knew his weakness, and he told her that because he loved her, and they cut his hair off, and he went to battle, and he died. And I think like 20,000 people died with him, all because he fell in love. And so when I was in my teen years, I fell in love, and that hurt me the most. And it was like normal nuclear fire. I'm used to like attacks. I'm used to being attacked. I'm used to like, having people want to argue with me, having people want to scope me out like Harry Potter. Like, it's always you. You're always the one at the scene of the crime. You just made this a crime scene. I was here regardless. You just made it a crime scene because I'm here. That's why. So I was always experiencing that. But after that, it's like you become a body of water, and the usual toxic waste that is let out into you, you no longer have the barriers in this body of water. The barriers are down. So now all the toxic waste that has been piled up over the years, and even the toxic waste that people are throwing into the water now because there are no barriers, it's just flowing right in. And now the water is now no longer water. It's just a toxic wasteland. If you really look at it, we have toxic wastelands in our, cities. At one point, that was just a space. It was a space with beautiful trees, beautiful grass, beautiful flowers. It was a space for animals, creatures, insects to come and feed and give birth and hide. It was a beautiful, like, garden at one point in time, thousands of years ago, probably, or, last 500 years. But now, because of toxic waste that could not have been held back, it is a wasteland. It is a death site. And I became a wasteland. And when you're a wasteland and people, it's been like, I'm telling you, when you get to that stage, it's best to try and clean it up within the first 6 months. Like, don't let it become a normal thing. When you fall, get back up. Do not let yourself sink. Because if you sink, you will continue to sink forever. And it will be like years trying to pull yourself through that toxic waste of a water 90 feet deep. So I tried to pull myself out after a year, 2020. It's like so many things happened all at once in 2020. And 2019 ending to 2020, the whole year. I tried to pull myself out that year, further towards 2021, when the pandemic got more comfortable. And I noticed that, back to the water, when you become a wasteland and you're used to people throwing things at you, what the hell do you mean you're trying to clean up? Like, you've got thousands of piles of just dirty shit and just waste inside of you. What do you mean you're trying to clean up? How are you going to clean that up? That's going to take forever. That's why I said, don't sit down, don't wait. It's going to take forever. So the last couple of years of my life, it's been like, I am the waste field and people are continuously dumping in on me. And I'm thinking, I have to please, because I want to survive. How do you go from being the light in life in general to being a roach or a rat, clinging to the shadows, hiding in fear of the trap, in fear of the cat getting you? Love. That's basically what it is. No, but I wanted to protect myself. And so the toxic waste that filled in my life, I allowed it because I thought to myself, what's better than being strong all the time around a bunch of people who are continuously trying to tear you down? Being just like them and tearing other people down just so that you can survive and not be scrutinized for being alive. That didn't work. I noticed that there are so many dreams that I had that were unfulfilled, dreams that I probably wrote down that I can't remember, songs that would have been hit songs, and the ideas that would have been world-changing and powerful. Even though God always tells me, like, you didn't miss out on anything, it's still like I could have done or had or became or given so much more, but I was so afraid of being a bitch because I just watched the Martha Stewart documentary, and yesterday I watched Megan Thee Stallion documentary. They sent Martha Stewart to jail for lying. And they told Megan that she was lying about getting assaulted. Like, if they can send a cookbook lady, I know she's way more than that, but and a freaking pop star, rap star, through scrutiny because they're confident? Why are you hiding, afraid of them scrutinizing you? They're going to scrutinize anybody who's confident. It sounds so like, okay, yeah, they're going to get mad at anybody who got their shit together. Like, no, but it's true. They're going to get mad at anybody who is seemingly better than them. Who is they? Everybody. I just watched the broadcasting for when they did file the charges against Martha Stewart, and he's literally saying we're sending this to, court trial because she lied to the American people. Every man that was standing behind that man, and that man included, all obviously have lied before. She lied to the American people. A lie? No murder, but she lied. Ooh. It hit me. Be a bitch. Because the crazy thing, they gonna hate you regardless. You gotta do what you gotta do. They probably don't even like you now while watching you hide. People know when you're a star when you hide and pretend that you're not because you're afraid of them knowing that you're a star. They know it either way. Be a bitch. This is probably the beginning of my crash out stage. But it was warranted, I mean, how long can you hide the shiniest diamond in the world? Somebody's going to see the sparkle. And at some point, it's going to become too big to be hidden. When it's meant to be, they can't hide who you are. You can't be afraid of them because at the end of the day, even if you don't believe in the God, there is a God. And even if you don't believe in it, he, she, her, them, they, whatever the God's pronouns are, multitudes of them, something has your back. You wouldn't be here if it didn't. Or maybe you should just have your own back. But I'm going to end this with saying, somebody should. You deserve that much. So yeah, be a bitch.